Good evening, and welcome back to our third episode of Right Side Now. I'm Liz Willis, and tonight RSBN will bring you real news on what's happening right here, right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average crossed the 20,000 point mark. World-famous actress Mary Moore passed away, and tornado damage in the southeast continues to rise. Also, protesters reached a whole new height today. Today was a great day on Wall Street as the Dow Jones passed 20,000. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was higher in midday trading after hitting 20,000 for the first time on Wednesday. Trump has made several business-friendly decisions since taking office on Friday, including signing executive orders to reduce regulatory burden on domestic manufacturers and clearing the way for the construction of 2 oil pipelines. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ composite indexes also hit record highs. And some disheartening news, Mary Tyler Moore has passed away. Following reports that Moore, 80 years old, was in grave condition and that her family was visiting her, her spokesperson has confirmed that Mary Moore has passed. Mara Buxbaum, a lifetime-long representative of Mary Tyler Moore, stated, "Today, beloved icon Mary Tyler Moore passed away at the age of 80 in the company of friends and her loving husband of over 33 years, Dr. Levine, a groundbreaking actress, producer, and passionate advocate for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Mary will be missed and remembered as a fearless visionary who turned the world on with her smile. Rest in peace, Mary Moore." And this past weekend, Georgia was hit with severe storms and tornadoes. Let's play a quick clip that an RSBN subscriber sent in of damage in Middle Georgia. Insurance commissioner says $100 million in damages were wreaked on the state by this past weekend's deadly storms that ripped through southwest Georgia. A massive tornado struck Albany, Georgia on Sunday afternoon, leaving massive damage in its wake. National Weather Service survey teams are continuing to investigate areas affected by the storms over the weekend to determine the extent of the tornado damage. Earlier today, President Trump, during his speech at the Department of Homeland Security, said that he instructed FEMA to do all that they can to help those suffering and affected in Georgia and Mississippi. Here's a quick clip of the president on the storm damage.
I just spoke with Governor Nathan Deal of Georgia. Great state, great people. Florida affected, Alabama affected by the tornadoes, and just expressed our sincere condolences for the lives taken. Tornadoes were vicious and powerful and strong, and they suffered greatly. So we'll be helping out the state of Georgia. We'll be speaking with Governor Scott right after this, and we'll be, Alabama is a special place, Florida a special place, but they got hit hard. They all got hit hard. But looks like Georgia's lost at least 11 people as of this moment, a lot of people. So on behalf of all of us, Governor Deal, condolences.
And in other news, protesters have reached all new heights in 2017. Let's play the clip now of protesters on the crane. Don't pause it. What you're looking at right now is protesters climbing a 270-foot crane in downtown D.C. As of right now, reports are that 7 protesters climbed this crane. It is unconfirmed, but said that the protesters are believed to be associated with Greenpeace. Well, be careful out there in D.C., folks. And outside the U.S., the Netherlands is planning to set up an international fund to support abortion services, hit by President Donald Trump's order to cut U.S. foreign aid. Lilian Pluman, a Dutch minister, said it would set up a well-financed fund to allow other governments, businesses, and charities to donate. The Netherlands will do everything in its power to help women remain in control of their own bodies. On Monday, President Trump signed an executive order prohibiting organizations that receive U.S. family planning assistance from using non-U.S. funding to provide abortion services, information, counseling, or referrals. For decades, it has been that case that no U.S. money can be spent on overseas abortion services Lillian Pluman said this executive order of President Trump makes it impossible for organizations to deliver the service of safe abortions. And in technology today, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and climate advocate, says ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson might make an excellent Secretary of State. The two public figures wouldn't seem to favor each other, but they do just that. A tweet by Elon Musk says Rex Tillerson supports a carbon tax. This is what is really needed to move the needle. And now, how to get through the airport quicker. According to Bloomberg Technology, Clear, a biometric screening firm, is coming to several major U.S. airports soon. This will mark the start of an era to radically accelerate your time with TSA. Already at JFK, Clear will soon be at 22 major airports. The new option doesn't replace TSA PreCheck, but will complement it. It'll check travelers' identities with a fingerprint scan. This will eliminate boarding pass and identity check. It lets Clear members proceed directly to bag and body screening. Clear charges $179 annually, but it's still experimenting with pricing. The company says it already has over 700,000 members and is rapidly growing. President Trump today signed 2 executive actions related to immigration and border security, moving ahead with his plan to build a wall along the U.S. border with Mexico. Construction on the wall will begin in months, Trump said in an interview with ABC News, adding that planning for the wall is starting immediately. The president also said the U.S. will be reimbursed at a later date by Mexico for the cost of building the wall, an idea that Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto flatly rejected earlier this month. The border wall is included in an executive action titled Border Security and Immigration Enforcement Improvements. The action also calls for hiring more Border Patrol agents, expanding detention space, and emphasizing prosecuting criminal offenses related to the southern border. A second executive action titled Enhancing Public Safety in the Interior of the United States will direct the Departments of Homeland Security and Justice to withhold federal funds from so-called sanctuary cities. The executive actions also seek to force other countries to take back criminal aliens by using leverage such as withholding U.S. visas, and it would allow Immigration and Customs Enforcement to more aggressively arrest, detain, and remove people from the United States. These actions come one day after the president tweeted, "Big day planned on national security, among many other things. We will build the wall." A law currently exists that experts believe give him authority to start building that wall. It's called the Secure Fence Act of 2006. That was signed by the President George W. Bush. Additionally, the Secure Fence Act authorizes more vehicle barriers, checkpoints, and lighting, as well as authorizes the Department of Homeland Security to increase the use of advanced technology like cameras, satellites, and unmanned aerial vehicles to reinforce infrastructure on the border. After nearly a year-long vacancy on the Supreme Court, President Trump is almost ready to fill the void. There's a tweet from President Trump today from his personal account saying, "I will be making my Supreme Court pick on Thursday of next week. Thank you." The 3 leading contenders are Judge William H. Pryor, Jr. of the Federal Appeals Court in Atlanta, Judge Neil M. Gorsuch of the Federal Appeals Court in Denver, and Judge Thomas M. Hardiman of the Federal Appeals Court in Pittsburgh. The 3 are drawn from a list of 21 conservative nominees that Mr. Trump made public during his campaign. And back again with the president's cabinet picks. Nikki Haley was sworn in today as the United Nations ambassador, and South Carolina has a new governor. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is now officially the United States ambassador of the United Nations. Okay. Haley was sworn in by Vice President Mike Pence today. And in more President Trump news, last night President Trump threatened to intervene in Chicago's law enforcement. It's not clear what type of intervention the president was referring to in a tweet he sent out Tuesday evening. At the White House daily press briefing this afternoon, Trump Press Secretary Sean Spicer sought to clarify the president's remark, telling reporters that the president was upset about turning on the television and seeing Americans get killed by shootings. What he wants to do is provide the resources of the federal government, and that can span a bunch of things. And now in sports and entertainment. According to www.olympic.org, the International Olympic Committee, also known as IOC, sanctioned 2 athletes for failing anti-doping tests at Beijing 2008. In an official statement on their website, the Olympic Committee stated, the protection of clean athletes, and the fight against doping are top priorities for the International Olympic Committee. To provide a level playing field for all clean athletes at the Olympic Games Rio 2016, the IOC put special measures in place, including targeted pre-test and the reanalysis of stored samples from the Olympic Games Beijing 2008 and London 2012. As part of this process, today the IOC announced that 2 athletes have been disqualified from the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. Nesta Carter of Jamaica and Tatiana Lebedeva of Russia both tested positive for banned substances. The IOC is ordering the athletes to return their pins, medals, and diplomas in connection to their events, and reallocation of medals is subject to further results from IOC anti-doping retesting program. Now on to Chelsea Handler. She continues to mock Melania Trump. Let's watch this clip.
While I'm also getting educated.
Would you ever have Donald Trump on your show?
No.
What if he asked you?
No.
What about Melania? Would you have her on your show?
Melania? What, to talk about what? She can barely speak English.
What do you think about her as the first lady?
Exactly what I think about him as the first man. Mm-hmm. Nothing. I don't respect either one of those people.
Mm-hmm. In that interview, Chelsea Handler says she would not interview the First Lady because she can barely speak English. Many have taken to Twitter in response to Handler's interview. Hannah Walker tweeted Chelsea, pointing out the hypocrisy with the ordeal, and asked, "Why are you being so mean? I thought you were a feminist. You're not being very supportive." And now on to more news. Fox's Tucker Carlson nearly doubling Kelly's primetime ratings. If you missed it, Tucker Carlson has recently replaced Megyn Kelly's primetime spot on Fox News. Carlson is nearly doubling the ratings of his predecessor when compared to the same time period last year. According to Nielsen Media Research, in the 25 to 54-year-old demographic, Carlson is now averaging 775,000 viewers per night. And what you haven't heard in the news, well, say goodbye to fake news. Google has banned 200 publishers in its attempt to get rid of fake news. Scott Spencer, Director of Product Management for Sustainable Ads, released the numbers today as part of his blog post in his article titled, "How We Fought Bad Ads, Sites, and Scammers in 2016. He explains how Google attempts to crack down on bad sites. Spencer explains that Google has updated and expanded policies against the misleading sites. He says there were 550 sites reviewed suspected of misrepresentation. Of those 550 sites, action was taken against 340, and nearly 200 sites were kicked out permanently." Now let's get to some happy news. Conjoined twins were successfully separated in New York. 2 11-month-old girls who were formerly conjoined have been separated after a 21-hour operation at a suburban New York hospital. It took a team with more than 50 medical professionals to perform this delicate procedure. The twin girls made their debut just yesterday at a press conference with their parents. The operation is said to give the girls better chances for better lives. And some more good news. Puppies. This past Monday in Italy, 3 sheepdog puppies were found alive after a terrible avalanche crushed homes and destroyed much of the town. It was total devastation. People were displaced and many homes are lost. But thanks to divine intervention, there are 3 sheepdogs that defied the odds. Emergency crews in the area were able to rescue the puppies after hearing desperate barking from the struggling pups. They were found in a boiler room, buried under 16 feet of snow. Rescuers continue to search for any signs of life, but as for the puppies, they're counting their blessings and trying to stay warm. Thanks for tuning in tonight to Right Side Now. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at RSBN Network, on Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting, and on our website at rsbn.tv. If you would like to have a story covered, please email us at feedback@rsbn.tv. From Auburn, Alabama, I'm Liz Willis. God bless you, America, and good night.